everyone, we're going to dive right into making a card, and I have used some masking paper here. I'm going to be doing some ink blending today. We're going to almost create a single layer card, which actually pretty much it is, and we're going to start off with some distress inks. Now the first color here, I'm going to be using Twisted Citron. I'm going to be using some of these blending brushes here. I've only kind of been new to them, but this is my second time playing with them, and I thought I'd give it a go. Now here is some cracked pistachio, and I'm going to try, because it's only a little mini ink, I do try and pick up as much ink as I can with the blending brush here, and I just work my way light, medium to dark. For my last color, I'm going to use Peacock feathers, and it's quite a blue color, so I only just tend to keep that more towards the bottom, and then I'll bring in some cracked pistachio again and bring that down and blend it so it looks like it's quite a transitional color. So what I've done here is I've actually used some masking paper that I've previously used on another card, but I can pretty much reuse it because I wasn't able to transfer that current ink that's on that paper over to that, so it worked out really well. Now this top folding white card panel is actually already got a texture to it. It's a textured cardstock, but I'm going to add more texture by spritzing some water over it, and then I picked up any excess of that water with a microfiber cloth, and you can see the texture it adds. So I've got the beautiful floral stamp set from Simon Says Stamp here. This was given to me by a dear friend of mine, Joanna, and I'm going to heat emboss with opaque bright white in Superfine. Now because I did play with distress inks and I've played with water, I did set that aside for a little bit naturally to dry. I didn't use a heat tool because I didn't want to warp the top folding cardstock here. Now to reassure that was actually dry, I did use a powder tool here, and I did make sure I put an excessive amount of that. I've got the single stem floral image here. I've got my Wow Embossing, the ultra slow clear ink. It is beautiful for heat embossing. If I wanted to take my time with my heat embossing, this gives me that time and that flexibility to change my mind, or maybe I changed my mind with the embossing color powder. So now setting that aside, I'm going to use a scrap piece of paper to catch the leftover powder, so I can excessively pour this opaque bright white on here. Again, it's Superfine, and the reason why I chose Superfine is because of the delicate detail of the floral image. And I'm going to use my Wow heat embossing tool here in heat setting 2. And I did make sure that was good and hot, and the reason being is I didn't want that cardstock to warp as much as possible. So to do that, make sure it's good and hot, and then work your card. At any stage you feel like that card actually is warped too much, I tend to sandwich between two clean embossing embossing what do you want to call that, plates, sorry, for my big shot, and I was able then to make that flat. But it didn't actually turn out too bad. I was quite happy with the result here. Now I feel like this image got a little bit lost, so the way I tend to make sure that pops back up is I play with some C colors. So I've got a C3 here, and then I'll go in and add some C0 just to blend that out a little tiny bit. But I'll show you the process on how to make it pop just that little more, just by adding some grey around the images. And it actually, because it's distress ink, it actually does go back into this card image here, and it doesn't seep through. Now if you can hear that noise behind me, I'm outside voice recording today because I have got a house full of people. So you'll probably hear some kookaburras and some birds in the background. Alright, so just finishing off here with the outlining of my image. and that will slowly blend in, and you can see already how much lighter that's gone just by a couple of minutes. Okay, so now I created my own glitter cardstock. This is vintage Peacock. I basically pressed my ink pad all over the cardstock, and I changed my mind and chose Long Island Teal actually, because I felt this color glitter combination worked well better with that ink blended. So I made 2 panels of glitter cardstock, and then I was happy with the Long Island Teal here. So I've got the Hello from Altenew die, and I'm going to die cut it. So going back to how I make my DIY cardstock is I basically cover with as much slow drying ink as possible, pouring excessively the embossing glitter, and then just heat setting it. And I have got cardstock glitter on hand at all times, and I've used a lot of it, and I've made a lot just so I can just reach over and grab them and die cut my word images or any images or intricate details of dies that you want to use. Now because this is a single layer, I didn't want to risk just stamping my add-on sentiment from another Altenew stamp set, and I have used my mist in. Now the mist is the best way to make sure that if I didn't stamp it correctly in the first place, that I am able to stamp again. And I ended up getting, with my VersaFine Onyx black ink, a beautiful image, stamped image here, and I didn't need to do it again. So it's just basically eliminating another risk there. So here's my Hello die, and I'm actually going to adhere this down with some Tombow Mono liquid adhesive, and I'm just going to directly place that onto the card front. And I'm really just going to leave my card pretty simple for today. Simple masking, simple making, you know, your images pop. Some tips there. But that's my card for today. I hope you enjoyed today's card creation, and I look forward to reading your comments and seeing you over the WOW blog. Thanks for watching.